to our third lesson in this course, and welcome. So, in this lesson, we're going to talk about limiting beliefs in old patterns. And we all have those things. We all have limiting beliefs and old patterns. And although we do need those patterns and beliefs in order to survive, the more we transcend to the better version of ourselves, the more we can replace those old patterns and beliefs with better versions of them, because we are creating beliefs all the time, every single day. And when we are talking about beliefs, I am talking about the things that you see as truth. What is true for you? That is a belief. You believe something is true, so that is a belief. If it is a good belief, a positive belief, it creates a positive effect in your life. It helps you to make good decisions. But if you flip the coin and you have a negative, a limiting belief that is running back on your subconscious mind, that limiting belief will affect the way you make your decisions in a bad way. Does that make any sense to you? That is a very simple way to describing the beliefs. And the thing that I want you to focus is that we don't choose the beliefs. And it is not easy to get rid of a belief that is no longer serving us. Because at the end of the day, if we have a belief, a positive or negative, it is serving us for something. Even to protect us, to heal us, to help us to awake. But when we get to a certain point in our lives where we already feel protected without limiting beliefs, we can release those beliefs. And a good example of that is that you believe at your subconscious level that you need to be around people all the time in order to feel safe. So for you, the idea of staying by yourself, it's horrible. So you are often surrounded by people. You go to parties, you go to conferences, you go around. You cannot be by yourself because you believe that you can only feel protected if you are around people. And that is something on your subconscious mind driving you to seek for those opportunities. But when you realize some point at your life that, wait a minute, what am I doing? It is okay to be around others, but I'm forgetting about myself. What about my privacy? What about my self-care and self-love? I am not taking care of my body. I am not listening to my feelings because I am around people all the time. And you see, and you awake to something. Something changed within you. And that's when the limiting belief begins to detach from you. And then you become to do other things. Even though you are scared, you still have that fear. But you begin to take little steps and you begin to feel safe in your body. And that takes time. And with time, that limiting belief is replaced with a positive belief that might say something like, it is safe to be in my body. It is safe for me to connect with myself. And can you imagine if you have that belief running on the back of your mind? I can do everything by myself. That belief empowers you to pursue your mission, to do the things that you believe. And this is just an example. We have so many beliefs, and unfortunately, we are not aware of them because they are on the subconscious mind. The subconscious mind is a part of the brain that we don't have access to it in a daily basis. It's where memories, trauma, and the limiting beliefs are stored. The conscious mind, which is just about, I think they say between 9 and 12% of the capacity of our brains, only 9%. It's where we process everything, where we think. I'm talking to you now using my conscious mind, even though I am accessing my subconscious mind, but I cannot control my subconscious mind. Something needs to come to my conscious mind first. And if I believe it, this is my truth, it goes to my subconscious mind. So next time an opportunity or situation arises, I don't need to think anymore. My subconscious mind directly sends a reaction to that because it's already installed in the part of the brain that automatically reacts to it, just like your heart. You don't need to tell your heart to pump blood to your body. In the same way, you don't need to tell your subconscious to react. Just like when you go drive a car, you already know how to drive a car, right? You don't even have to think. And those things are good things, right? Can you imagine if we had to think about, okay, now I need to do this and blah, blah, blah. It would take a lot of energy out of us. So the subconscious mind saves us a lot of energy, a lot of energy. But we need to know, to become aware of the things that we haven't stored in that. And that is when self-development, self-healing, devotion, self-care takes shape and form. The more you allow yourself to listen, to embody your emotions, your feelings, the more you become aware of what is here running on the back. And once you become aware of what is running back there, you can release it. You can replace it. That is so powerful. And there is no magic involved. That is the power of our brains. And of course, if you do meditations, if you go to a spiritual practice, it can help you to access your subconscious mind. But sometimes the only thing it takes to show up for yourself every day. And a practice that I want you to practice after this lesson today is to journal. If you are going through an issue in your life, whatever that issue is, I want you to grab a piece of paper and a pencil, not a pen, and begin to write without any intention. Just write. If you don't know what you're gonna say, just begin writing. I don't know what to write. Begin with that. That is, you have no excuses. And as you journal, things will come. You're gonna access your subconscious mind, if you will. And maybe it can take some practice in order for you to do that. But you can receive insights. What is your next step? So today I'm journaling. So tomorrow you can get an insight as you're doing the first step. It's about one step at a time. But in order to get to the third step, you need to do the first and the second. And because this world that we live in, that is so much pressure, we want to rush and just go to the step number 3 right away. We want to get results right away. It doesn't work like that. We were not designed to achieve results. We live in this planet that I call it a school, where we are here to learn. We are here to evolve, to become better versions of ourselves. So if you skip the lessons in between the final results, how in the world can you learn, my dear? You need to go through it. And you have the choice to go through it in a more gentle way, without fighting against your emotions, without being the victim who doesn't have any actions, who is just crying and praying for God to release her feelings. If you resonate with the victim archetype, I honor you. I honor you. I know your feelings. It hurts to be a victim. But maybe it is time for you to transcend to another version of yourself, to take responsibility of your life, to change your mindset, to create new beliefs, and replace the belief that in order to be seen, in order to be validated, you need to play the victim role. Replace that with whatever helps you. And now talking a little bit about old patterns, which is kind of limiting beliefs in a way. But the way that I see patterns, I see it as something that passes from one generation to the next, and to the next, to the next one. We have this family vibration, and that it is impossible to say that we don't have a piece of our mothers within us, a piece of our grandfathers within us. We all have. And I like to call them patterns. And of course, we all have patterns that we create. But usually, we are repeating the patterns of our families because we want to honor them at some level. And this session, it's all about the subconscious mind. You are not aware that you have a pattern. You're not aware that you have a limiting belief. That's why it's so important for you to show up for yourself in order for you to have glimpses of it. So the patterns that you have this pattern that you inherited from your mother. For some reason, you try to replicate it again, to do the same thing. Maybe a little bit more different, in a way that maybe if you look with your eyes, you cannot see that it is the same pattern. But most likely it is the same. And you continue doing it. Something old, something outdated, something that is preventing you to believing that you can create your own patterns, that you can create your own life instead of just using something outdated. But even though we have these outdated patterns, we have good ones. But the key is not to attach to anything, to detach from patterns, beliefs, so that your soul, which is your true essence, can speak up. Your soul is the part of you who knows. It's the part of you who believes. It's the part of you that is connected directly to source. To source. It doesn't need the brain to know his essence, to know the purpose. But of course, we have chosen to be in this body. That's why we have the brain. That's why we have the limiting beliefs and the old patterns. And now that we know that we have them, we need to make them to work in our favor instead of against us, against the soul. And how can we bring the wisdom of the soul together with the mind? It is very simple. Whatever you feel inside your heart, listen to your heart. And most likely, your heart will say crazy things. And maybe that limiting belief will kick in right away and say, wait a minute, that's too much. You cannot do that. Don't listen to the mind for now. Go back to your heart. You can bring your hands to your heart. It helps you to bring direction, to bring awareness to your heart. Listening to your heart. And when you have listened, sometimes it takes a few days. If you are trying to get an answer, if you're trying to get a direction for something, show up for your heart every day, which is the same as showing up for your heart. And then when you have a clear idea of what it is, bring it from the heart to the mind. And let the human mind to work for your soul, for your heart. Can you see the difference? It's not the other way around. It is from here to here, here to here. That's why we have a brain and a soul. They should work together. They should work. We have those things together because we need them in order to pursue our missions, our purpose, whatever you call that inner desire to serve, to live in a life that is of your dreams. In order to accomplish those things, you need the heart and the soul and the right tools to bring them together in a way that you feel confident in your body. And let me bring in something about when you're not pursuing your purpose. Because if you think about our lives, I see it as a path. Can we imagine a path, a long walk? We have this path, but we often take shortcuts. We go this way and then we come back. And maybe we walk a little bit more and then we go this way and then we come back. It's okay. We have free will. Remember from lesson 1? If you don't remember about free will, go back to lesson 1 so you can refresh your mind. But we have the free will and we are walking. We know the path. Deep inside, you know. Deep inside, you know what makes you happy. You just maybe don't have the courage to continue doing it because of the limiting beliefs, because of the old patterns. But you know, deep inside you know. And it is okay for you to take the shortcuts, but always come back to the center, to the main path. And if you start noticing when you take a shortcut, you feel disconnected. You feel lost. You don't feel motivated. You don't have energy. You get sick. You lose things, job, career, car, you name it. that is a good indication that you're taking a shortcut. But it is okay. It's your choice. You can take a deep breath in, acknowledge, okay, right now I am not on my right path, but I can choose to go back to it. My path is already available for me. The path is already created. It was already created for you. You just need to go back to it. And deep inside you, you know what you need to do. You know what you need to do. I don't know what you have to do. I can help you to find ways for you to realize, to empower you to get the courage to pursue, to do the things that you already know you should be doing. And maybe to remember. Sometimes we need to remember. But if something like that is happening to you, that you're feeling disconnected, lost, and everything that you touch doesn't work, take a deep breath in. Honor that moment in your life. And know that you can always go back to the center. Okay? And also honor your family and all the wisdom, all the knowledge, the strength that you got from them. If we think about the past generations, they went through a lot. Not only our families, but think about humanity. The wars, the violence, the women's rights, and all of those things that were violated. We are so lucky to live in this world now. Even though it's not perfect, but it's much better. It is much better. So honor everything, your family. Begin with your family. What they went through. And see them as souls instead of seeing the role as my mother, the role as my father. No. When we see them as souls, we recognize, we can relate because we are also souls. So we can feel compassion about them. We don't judge. And that's a simple way to release old patterns. When we honor our families and everything they went through. When we detach from the roles as my mother did this to me, she should be doing that. And you go higher and see, wait, she's just like me. She's trying to survive. She's trying to come back to the main path. That's a beautiful way to not only to release old patterns, but also to connect with this unconditional love. That for me, unconditional love is source. And the more you connect with source, the more you bring unconditional love. The more you connect with unconditional love, the more you connect with source, because they are the same. So if you want something in your life, give it out. If you want more love, give love. Don't wait. Don't be the victim waiting for someone to come and say, I'm sorry. Go to that person and say, I'm sorry. I know it is hard. But if you bring back that consciousness, that perspective of lessons, that you sign up for that lesson, and that person is only a teacher, you can do it. One little bite at a time. Being gentle with yourself, with your body. Take a deep breath in and allow your body to digest all the information in this lesson. And make sure you do your journal. Write about it. anything that is going on with you. And I wish you all the best and send you all my love and support. See you next time.